Hello everyone, welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Brittany. You should definitely subscribe. I sit here and I just yap about books all day. And if you are returning, thank you so much for already being subscribed and thank you for clicking on today's video. Today we're going to be going over the 13 books that I did read in the month of July. I'm very impressed that I managed to read 13 books because I was going through it last month. I had like severe dissociation. If you saw one of my last videos, you kind of already know, like, I've just been going through a lot of personal stuff, so I'm surprised that I was able to even read what I was able to because I didn't want to really like do anything. So anyways, we're gonna go ahead and get started. So the first book that I did read for the month of July, I actually don't know if these are in exact order, so they might not be in order, but the first book that I do have in this video that I'm going to talk about is Sounds Like Love by Ashley Poston. I read this because my friend and I were going to her event, and I've been really wanting to read her books in general, and I saw that she was coming to my area, and I was like, you know what, like, I'm gonna read her book and I'm gonna go. I really want to meet her. I really want to read more of her books and everything. So obviously I wanted to read this one because that's what the event was for, and I wasn't sure if there'd be spoilers or anything, so I read it. And I also did get this one in the Love Story Society box by Eternal Embers. I think it is so pretty. It is not focusing, is it? It's so pretty. And then I got it signed by her at that event. I didn't get this one personalized, but I did get the other ones personalized. I did rate this a 4.75. I really, really liked this. I love the way she writes, like, with magic realism in a very, like, subtle way. I love the romance in this. I love the family aspect. I really loved a lot about this book. I loved the cozy vibes of it with, like, the music and everything as well. This book just honestly made me giggle a lot too. Like, I was just like giggling so much because I just had such a good time. So this follows a songwriter and then also a musician who they meet a long time ago. They just like really can't stand each other, or well, she can't really stand him. Then we fast forward, she moves back home to North Carolina, I want to say, to kind of just be with her family because her mother is ill, and they have like this the Revelry. It's a like music hall that's family owned, and there's just a bunch of stuff going on, and she's struggling to write a song. Like, she can't figure out the spark, so she figures, you know, maybe if I move back home I'll be able to write a song. All of a sudden she starts hearing like this voice in her head, and there's someone that she's able to talk to like in her head, and they can't figure out why they have this connection or whatever, so they decide to meet in person and like work on a song together. But it is just, I don't know, it was so good. I loved it. I think it is so cute. It's different than anything I've ever read before, so I would definitely recommend it. Then my first 5-star of the month, we do have Beartown by Frederick Bachman. I went in on this book. I love this book. I love this man's writing. I want to read everything that he has written. I just think he has such a way with words. I just like was highlighting so much I couldn't help it. This book, oh my gosh, this book. I don't even know where to begin about this book. I did a whole video reading this book. Well, a whole video reading other books and this book. But I talked a lot about this book in that video. I feel like you look at this book or you read the back and you're like, oh, okay, a book about a small town that is obsessed with hockey. Like, oh, fun. And like, no. There is so much more in this book. Like, hockey is a big part of it. And I feel like maybe if you don't like hockey at all, you might not care about this book. But it follows so much more than just hockey. You follow a wide cast of characters that deal with a lot of like peer pressure, homophobia, assault, and just questions of like morality and how far people of this town are willing to go to ignore like morals essentially. And like, I don't know, this is a book that will definitely stick with me for a very, very long time. I definitely want to reread it at some point. This town, there's nothing more important than hockey, and they have a chance of doing really, really good this season, and they're trying to get their name kind of like on the map. They want people to know about Beartown. That way it's bringing in people, bringing in money, and the way that they plan on doing this is because of their hockey team. However, something happens with their star player, an incident, and kind of starts crumbling from there. And like I said, you're really just seeing how far people are willing to go to ignore morals. I don't know, I'm trying to like be very vague about it because I feel like this is one of those books that's so good if you kind of go into it very like blind and open-minded. I feel like at first it might feel overwhelming because there's so many characters that you follow in this book. Like, you are following the entire town essentially. But Frederick Bachman, the way he writes these characters, he literally just like transitions through like the windows of everybody's life, and it's so smooth, and like I love it. I'm currently reading My Friends by him right now, and again, like, his writing, it's not just like a one-time thing. Like, his writing is really just that good to me, and yeah, I definitely can't wait to read more by him. I'm really enjoying My Friends so far as well. Then up next, it is counted as 3 books. Technically, it is one giant book, but I'm counting it as 3 books because every book in this is like a separate book, and Goodreads counts it separately, so I'm gonna count it separately. And it is the Mindfuck series. I read the first 3 books, which is The Risk, Sidetracked, and Scarlet Angel, I believe is the name of it. Okay, yeah, The Risk, Sidetracked, perfect. So I just have All the Lies and then Paint It All Red. Those are like the last 2 books that I have to finish this series. This is so good. Overall, this is a 5-star series, I think, but each book, I'm gonna go through what I rated really quick. Oh, okay, so The Risk I rated 4 stars, but Sidetracked and Scarlet Angel I rated 5 stars. I think The Risk I just rated a little less because we were kind of getting to like know everything, and the story didn't like really pick up at that point, so it was like really good. It just wasn't a 5-star. If for some reason you haven't heard of the Mindfuck series, this follows Lana Myers. She is iconic. She's a queen. I want to be her. I think she is a baddie. I'm obsessed with her. She pretty much has a hit list of like revenge, these men that she's getting revenge on. She's trained in a bunch of stuff as well to kind of like keep her cool so she doesn't have a psychotic break. She can defend herself. She can literally take on men like twice her size. And she's just so smart the way she does it. Like, she's able to throw the FBI off her track so easily. Well, enter the romantic interest Logan, who is a detective who is literally working on her case. It's so good. It is so, so good. Oh my god. I can't wait to continue this. I think I'm going to use the last 2 as like palette cleansers in between some of the stuff that I'm reading this month. But yeah, it's so good. It's one of those books where like I almost like don't want to finish it because it's so good. I kind of want to drag it out so I can really enjoy it more because I'm having such a good time with it, and I love Lana, and I hope it's like a good ending. I don't know. I really don't know what to expect. Up next, I did read A Fragile Enchantment by Allison Saft. This was a 3-star. I'm gonna be honest, I cannot remember much about this book. I know that she like can weave magic into her like fabric, her sewing, or her stitches, I'm sorry. She can stitch emotions and memories into fabric the same way that magic eventually will kill her. Okay, yeah, I do kind of remember this, but I do remember it wasn't as enticing as I was hoping it would be. It was cute, like the romance was cute, and like there were little parts where I was like, oh my god, like this is so cute, but it wasn't anything like memorable. That sounds so mean. It's just like a YA romantasy. It's Regency, which is kind of why I was excited to read it, because I've been kind of getting more into like the Regency vibes. It does give definitely some Bridgerton because there is like a, I forget what it's called in here, but kind of like a Lady Whistledown, you know, but like their own version of it. And I can't remember what like her name is, or their name is, or whoever, whatever the name of it is, but I did like that aspect because I was like, oh, okay, like Bridgerton, so I thought that was really cute. I think the plot, like the concept, the tropes and everything of this book were really good. I just think the writing wasn't like entirely there, which, I mean, it is a YA, so obviously it's not going to be like crazy complex anyways, like I totally understand, but for the first like 25%, I think I just wasn't really entirely understanding the world and like the magic system and everything. And I say this all the time, but I sometimes get too hung up on that in books, where it's very easy for me to like enjoy a book or not enjoy a book because I get so focused on the magic system or the world building and stuff like that. And I need to learn to not focus so much on that, because sometimes that stuff like makes more sense the further you read it. Like, I don't need to understand everything going on right in the first 100 pages, but that's just how I am. But I did find the female main character kind of flat. She didn't really like do anything for me. And then Kit was just like a little too wishy-washy. Like, he would be fine one second and then super grumpy the next second, where in ways it wouldn't even make sense. So yeah, I don't know, 3 stars. Like, it was cute, but yeah. Up next, I did read Legendborn by Tracy Deonn, and I did rate this 4 stars. I thought this was so unique. I love the like King Arthur Merlin retelling concept that she did in this book. I've never read a book with like that sort of like vibe, and I thought that was really cool. I definitely want to find another like King Arthur retelling because I did really enjoy that aspect. I think it's different than any YA I've ever read, and it kept me very invested. I was very intrigued. I also think this book deals with a lot of important topics that some authors are like afraid to like breach that discussion, but I feel like it was done in a very like nice way. I think it's just really important to include. I will say at like certain points of the book it was a little info dumpy and harder to understand, and like a big chunk in the middle I kind of was like starting to lose interest a little bit, where I was like, it kind of felt slow and redundant, but then it started to pick back up and I was immediately locked back in again, and I was like, yeah, this was pretty good. I think I definitely will continue the series as well. I don't think I'm necessarily in a rush because I still have so many other books that I'm really excited for, and because like I said, the middle was kind of a little slower, but I am very excited to see like where the story goes and what happens from here. So I definitely will be continuing it at some point. I just don't know when. This book follows Bree, and her mom dies in an accident. She ends up going to a I think it's in Chapel Hill, another North Carolina book, and she ends up going to like this school there, and she ends up witnessing like a magical attack on her first day. Then she discovers a secret society called Legendborn, and there's like this mage who calls himself Merlin, and they try to wipe her memories, and doing that ends up unlocking like these powers that she has. So she's trying to like navigate all of that while also trying to uncover this mystery of like what happened to her mom, while also just trying to like be a teenager in school and everything as well, and dealing with, you know, trauma from her mom like dying and all of that stuff. So it was really, really good. Honestly, the more I'm like thinking about it, the more I remember it being really, really good. So yeah, I definitely will be continuing that. The next book I did read was Night Shift by Annie Crown. This was a 3.75. Honestly, this was just really cute. It was a good time. It was extremely fast paced, which normally I'd be like, whoa, give me a second. But this was kind of as I was coming out of a slump, so I feel like I needed something fast paced, and I didn't mind it. Like, they did like kind of jump into things pretty quickly, and like the storyline just goes through everything really quickly, but I think that's what I needed in the moment. It is very fanficky, I will say that. Like, it definitely is very tropey, but it almost feels like you're watching, like, do you remember when you were like growing up and we had those like fun little early 2000s like high school rom-coms type like vibes? I feel like that's what this gave me. Like, this gave me those types of movies. So I think I was just like having a good time. Like, she's a reader. She was reading, she loves her spicy books. She loves her tropes and everything. And then he's a basketball player, and she's kind of helping him with an assignment. And I don't know, I just honestly think it's really, really cute. I think it was a fun, good time. If you want a quick, fast-paced, like easy little romance, I would definitely check it out. So up next, I did read They Never Learn by Lane Fargo. I just recently read this in a video where I was reading female rage books. This healed something in me. I rated this 4.5. This was so good. This is a psychological thriller. I think this is the first psychological thriller that I've read that I actually was like shocked and had such a good time and loved every part of it, because most of the time I'm like, ooh, what the heck? You know what I mean? Like, half the time I'm reading psychological thrillers, I don't know if I'm even having a good time. You know, this one, I was having a good time the whole time. So this follows Scarlett, who is a teacher at a university, and every year she pretty much plots the death of a man who has assaulted a woman, hurt a woman in some form, and she's kind of like, you know, cleansing the university of these men that are terrible men. She ends up kind of like inserting herself into this investigation because somebody does end up coming to investigate like these random suicides and deaths at this university, and she kind of gets like caught in the middle of it. Then we also have Carly, who is a student who goes to this university to get free of her abusive father, and her best friend gets assaulted at a party, and she becomes obsessed with like making him pay and like getting her revenge, and storylines intertwine and whatnot, and it was just honestly so good. I had to order a physical copy because I loved it. So if you want a good psychological thriller with amazing female rage, I would definitely recommend this. And going along with that, I also did read How to Kill Men and Get Away with It, and that was a 4-star. Kind of similar vibes. This girl is killing men who just aren't good men. She's like a social media influencer, and That one was so good too. I definitely want to get a physical copy of that one as well, because that one also had some crazy, like, shocking moments that I was not expecting. When that one first started, I was like, oh, I mean, it's good, but I don't know how I feel about it. But it ended up being so, so good. So, very similar in the sense of, like, female rage, killing men who are crap men. So, definitely recommend if you need any female rage books. And I read Releasing 10 by Chloe Walsh. This was a 5-star, obviously, easily 5-star. This book, oh my gosh. Where do I even begin with this book? First off, I owe Lizzie Young the biggest apology. I will be the first to admit that, because I 100% know in the video that I read Taming 7, I hated her. I said, I don't think this girl can have any redemption. Like, I think she's a mean girl. And I was wrong. And I will say, everything we've learned about her doesn't excuse the things that she say. I do still believe in, you know, people, like, holding people accountable for the things that they've said. She did say some really, you know, messed up things to people, especially Gibbsy. And I do think that we can hold somebody accountable while still understanding them and forgiving them and seeing, like, their side of things. And Lizzie, oh my gosh, she literally just wanted somebody to see her. Like, Hugh sees her, but she wants somebody to see her the way, like, Hugh sees her. Like, she just wants to be seen as, like, a person, you know? And poor Hugh, like, he's given his entire, like, heart and soul to this girl, and I understand, like, that's got to be so draining on him. And I am very happy with choices that he did make in this book, as painful as it is for both of them and for the readers, you know what I mean? Like, I am glad that he also is trying to find ways to make himself happy. But I just feel like a lot of us really, not all of us, because some people, you know, did like Chloe from the beginning and they saw through, like, Chloe's writing. I did not see through it, which I feel really bad, because I do struggle with a lot of mental health myself. So I just am, like, disappointed that I didn't pick up on any of it, and I just immediately was like, I don't like her. Because, yeah, poor girl, really. It's just, it's not even, like, the fact that she has, like, a mental health, like, anything with that. It's also the fact that she was literally manipulated from such a young age from people, and, like, all of that also ties into, like, oh my gosh, Lizzie, oh my gosh. I need the next book. I literally need it yesterday, okay? But I also need another Gibbsy and Claire book, because that was not a Gibbsy and Claire book. That was, I don't even know what that was. That was an intro to Lizzie's book, and Claire just being obnoxious the whole time. So then I did read Chokehold. This was a 2-star. I thought this was gonna be so amazing. It's like a male romance with, like, masks, and I just thought it was gonna be fantastic. Half the time I didn't know what was going on. Like, it felt like the storyline just kept jumping around, and it was written by 2 authors, and, like, you can tell that it was a collab with 2 authors. You know what I mean? Like, you could tell that they have their own writing style, and that they didn't really try to, I don't want to be mean. I didn't personally like it. There were parts that were still really good that I was like, ooh, but then there are other parts that I was like, what's going on? Like, especially with the girlfriends, I wish that they didn't have girlfriends, because the one girl was like, I don't know. The one girl kind of just, like, felt there, and the other one was a serial cheater. So I just didn't really understand their point. And then there was, like, cross cheating kind of, and, like, there was just so much going on in this book. And then, like, the ending was shocking, but by the time I got to it, I was already, like, mentally done with the book, that I was like, okay. So yeah, 2 stars, which is disappointing, because I really wanted to love it. It kind of was at first giving me For the Fans vibes, but yeah, then it detoured a lot from there. And the last book, because I forgot that I already included the other Mindfuck series books in the beginning. So the last book that I did read was Slewfoot by Brahm, and that was so good. That is another book that I need to get a physical copy of. It was a 5-star read for me. I love any, like, dark gothic like type of fantasy book, and that delivered. There's some female rage like revenge kind of going on in there too, but you don't really get to that until the end. What I think I love the most about that book is that the entire book you're building up this like rage, but it's very like subtle. Like you're kind of just like feeling her frustration and anger build up until it finally spills over. And I love Slewfoot, the monster that we end up meeting. Monster, I feel like that's not the right word, but this character that we end up meeting, and he was like just trying to figure out his place in the world, and she's trying to figure out her life after her husband mysteriously passes, which is not a spoiler, it's in the synopsis. And I just loved it. It was so good. If you love any like dark kind of like gothic paranormal, I guess, kind of fantasy, I would definitely recommend it. I loved it. And somebody actually in my video where I read it, they commented saying that the book has a lot of like artwork and stuff in it, so I definitely do think I want to get a physical copy, because besides the fact that I love it, I would love to like look through the pictures as well. So anyways, that is it. That is my wrap up for July. Yeah, July, right? Oh my god, wait. Yeah, July. And I already did post my August TBR, so go ahead and watch that once you finish this video. I did use prompt cards again to pick my August TBR, and I got some good prompt cards. I'm very excited because my TBR for August is going to be good. So hopefully I can read them all. Hopefully I can knock them all out. I think I'm starting to come back to myself. I'm starting to feel like a real person again, because for a while I genuinely did not think I was even real. I didn't think I actually existed on this planet. So now I feel I'm coming back to life, and I'm getting motivated to read again. And yeah, so hopefully next month we'll have a longer wrap up. And don't forget to give this video a giant thumbs up so that I know that you liked it. Hit subscribe and the little bell button next to it. That way you are notified whenever I do post. That way you don't miss any videos of mine. And leave a comment down below if you've read any of these, or if you've added any of these to your next TBR. And I will see you guys next week. Bye!